Hey, so today we have something interesting to try and to do, and the plan is to go into that church and to ask the priest how to deal with lust, like how to deal those thoughts, those temptations that seem to creep in whenever you're bored or stressed or lonely, and how to replace them and how to follow Jesus in that moment, right? So I'm going to ask for someone who's authoritative, and I'm really interested in that. And right, so it's already after the fact, and I've had a confession, and I asked what to do with the lust exactly, and I think I had a productive answer, and I'm going to dive deeper into it when I get back at home. So, see you where. Hey, and so I'm back from the church, and there are a few things, two tips that I got from the priest while I was confessing my sins that I really think we should talk about in this video. For those who are new to this channel, hi, my name is Marius. I'm a med student. I'm a suicide hotline volunteer. I also was addicted to porn for 10 years. I was able to quit, and now I've helped over 90 people on their porn quitting journey. So the first thing is all about accountability. So the priest told me that I have to confess my sin of lust every single time when I get tempted by it. But the problem is that I used to do that in the past. Every time I would feel lust, every time I would feel those vulgar thoughts, my every confession was about that. There weren't a single confession where I didn't say that I have vulgar thoughts and can't deal with lust. Right? But the issue was that those confessions were really rare. I would go to confess only before the big celebrations of the year, so the Christmas and the Easter. So just 2-3 times a year. Now, you could do and go every week and confess your lust, right? If you relapse, you can say that you watch pornography or whatnot. But I noticed that even once a week is not often enough. You kind of have to do it on a daily basis, if not on an hourly basis. And to do that, you need to have someone who you trust, right? You need to have like an accountability partner. So someone that you could trust, right? And not necessarily someone close to you. Because at least in my experience, it would be too much shame to tell my mom or my dad or my brother that I was dealing with this problem, right? I don't want them to know. In this case, it's better if that someone is not from your close circle, right? So knowing that, I created a free community where Christian men find their own accountability partners and hold each other accountable each and every single day. And if you were interested in that, you can join the community with a link in the description. Now, there's this priest on YouTube called Father Moses, and he talks about the importance of accountability often. He's also going the coaching route, and one time in his video, he said that he has guys calling him whenever we have an urge. You may ask, well, how that's even helpful, right? Well, what happens when you have to call repeatedly over and over again? It just kind of becomes unbearable to do it. You don't really want to call 5 times a day, right? You just kind of man up, and it gives you that extra motivation, that strong reason for wanting to quit porn and lust as soon and as fast as possible. So that was kind of a tip number 1, just confessing the sin. Tip number 2, which was somewhat vague, and I didn't really understand what the priest meant by it, but it was something along the lines of seek God, understand and welcome God into your life, right? Seek Him in the moments of temptation. Now, what does it really mean, right? Like, it's a nice saying. It feels good to say that, to see God in the moment of temptation. How one does that in real life. Now, after I quit my 10-year-old addiction and I coached over 90 people at this point, I've developed this roadmap for quitting porn. And in that roadmap, there is a section called Finding or Seeking God's Peace. And what I meant by that is most of people who I've talked to are very agitated, like anxious, unable to sit in silence without stimulating themselves. That's something that I used to have. My household, my parents are very strict, right? So when I was in high school, my mom on her way to work would take me to school. She would wake me up and she would rush me all the time. Like, do this, eat faster, brush your teeth, go to the toilet, like fast, do it. And so I was, from the start of the day, I was so agitated. My entire day would be like that. Like I would just feel so stressed out. And when I was 19 years old, I've developed an elevated blood pressure. I almost had to take medications from blood pressure while being in a decent shape and working out without any harmful habits. And so what I found is that I need to find peace, right? Because otherwise I might just have a seizure soon. So I needed to find a way to calm my nerves down. And that way was seeking God's peace. To illustrate this point, there is this quote from the gospel. It's in Mark chapter 1, verse 35. Very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus left the house and went off to a solitary place where he prayed. So in this quote, in this verse, we can clearly see that even Jesus Christ, he went out of his way to find a solitary place to pray. So who am I to not follow his footsteps, right? If I'm trying to find God, if I'm trying to seek his peace, I should do the same. I implemented that somewhat successfully. So my mornings, as of right now, are completely different from
from what they used to be. I don't wake up at the last minute. I try to wake up at least an hour before I have to leave my house. And one of my favorite things to do is to go outside. I have a park nearby me. I go to that park and I just sit in silence. No headphones, no scrolling on my phone, just seeing the sunrise, breathing deeply, being grateful for what I'm seeing around me. And I don't know how it works, but my entire day just feels so much calmer and peaceful after that. Now, also a lot of people who I've helped seem to have problems with sleep. And I also had my issues, but I think the recipe for dealing with sleep problems, at least if there's no underlying physical condition, is the same to what I've just talked about. It's just calming your nerves down, allowing your mind to enter that relaxation state before going to sleep. And if you can't do that, I found that the sleep quality is just so much better. And a good rule of thumb to know if you will have a good sleep quality is to just check your breath. If I don't feel pleasure, if I don't feel joy to breathe before I sleep while laying in bed, I know that I'm too agitated and my sleep quality probably will not be as good. Now, there are ways that you can help yourself achieve that state where you're breathing deeply, like you're breathing calmly. There's no obstruction in the airways, like air flows in and out smoothly. And I found that watching this video that you will see on the screen right now really helps with it. I usually do it after my evening prayer, and it worked wonders for my sleep quality. Alright, that's it for this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you're looking for free guidance and accountability, you can join the free community in the description down below.